Okay, I'm going to share a few ideas about refining the kickup. One of the things I've been thinking about recently is actually really trying to be deliberate and taking your time. After a few workshops that I've been on recently, it's been really challenging actually to kind of undo older habits, specifically on my natural side. I see a few patterns emerging, but in general, emerging out of flexion and leading with active legs seems to be working quite well. I've also been exploring pointing my toes, just as a method of really connecting that line. Sure, it might be linked to aesthetics, but it's always worth trying to see if it's helpful. As always, I think about planting my hands in the same place. Sometimes I practice it, or even when I'm teaching it, just moving it in and out and establishing that pattern. This space, kind of like a kneeling forward fold, is nice to enter from. And then gradually, I start to find the shoulder position. And then with active legs, I play with this little hop. I'm not worried about taking off completely here or landing in the handstand. I'm thinking more about creating like a connected body, which can then kind of unravel into handstand or the partial kicker. So I can practice that going a little taller, hands down, kicking up. And I want it to be as silent as possible. Looking down in between the thumbs. If you do that and take a video of yourself, you can imagine the parts kind of rolling up a little bit further and then starting to sketch out that L or V shape. Going for a little higher in the kicker. And still trying to actively reach with the legs. And almost start to get hang time before I've actually reached the vertical point or the balance point. So that when I do eventually try to kick up into the handstand, by the way, this is my first of the day, in case it goes wrong. Hands down, looking in between the thumbs, and just finding that little bit of floating time. Pushing elevation is coming from the shoulders, so it's as if you're trying to lengthen, bringing the shoulders around the bottom of the ears. And that for me happens now, a bit before I put the hands down or on the way. So that the base is locked out, and then I'm effectively moving around it. I also heard at one of the workshops the handstand being described, well, kick-ups being described as a press with a boost. Sort of suggesting that you roll out of this flexed position. So if I tried to go a little slower, although it might not look perfect, hands down, flexed, I can almost press myself up into that L shape a little bit slower and with a little bit more control.